my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand.
Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Philadelphia-based Jazz Trumpeter, composer, and educator Paul Giess. He talked to the show about his new 2021 CD, Hymns Volume 1. This veteran is a community-minded musician who expresses his values both on and off the stage. Paul helps educate young people at the Philadelphia Clef Club of Jazz and Performing Arts, and by making music with people with developmental disabilities through the Center for Creative Works. He has a great story you should hear. Enjoy.
Doing good. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. Hey, I appreciate you taking a minute out today.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate your interest in my music.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and start off here. And I think probably, really addressing kind of the new album and the elephant in the room, which is the pandemic. There's been such a long time since there's been live music, and it's starting to pick up now. So what does it mean to you to be able to release an album during this very strange time on planet Earth?
This album, which has some spiritual elements, was recorded before the pandemic. And the deeper we got into the pandemic, the more the messages that I was trying to convey through the music rang truer and truer, as we found with the pandemic has just really revealed what our needs are, and it revealed a lot of different things about our society and our values, and I think it's caused a lot of people to go deeper within themselves with what they're looking to do in the world,
Well, and I guess that's the other part of this too, is that, with the pandemic, everything slowed down. We realized we had no control over things, but there were things that we had control over, and, we probably looked within ourselves and discovered things. What did you discover about yourself that's going to make you stronger as you reemerge back into the world?
I think it's just about being a little more intentional about the things that I say yes to and the things I say no to, making sure that I make time for myself, for my own growth and rest and development, and to be there for my family and my communities the best I can,
Talk to me about this album. What do you ultimately want the listener to get from this experience?
I wrote arrangements to hymn tunes, and I used the hymnal from the church I grew up in, the Unitarian Universalist Church, which is a non-denominational church. And when we were in those services growing up, there was always a sense of trying to present ideas in a way that were interpretable from a variety of belief systems, because non-denominational, there were people who believed in different things who were going to the same church. I guess I think is a really it was a great community to be a part of. So I guess I just hope I offer something to people that they can, reflect in a positive way on their own life and what they're looking to do in the world, and the ways anyone might be trying to grow spiritually, they might be able to find something positive from the music.
So are you from Philadelphia?
I grew up in the suburbs, Westchester, Pennsylvania, and I've been in Philadelphia about 8 years now. Well,
talk to me a little bit about your childhood. There's always moments where the jazz comes in and hooks you. What was it for you?
Yeah, it was actually middle school jazz band met before school, and I really hated getting up early, even in middle school. And my mom told me she'd pay me $1 a week if I went to jazz band rehearsal in the morning. So that was the start for me.
What about musicians? What music did you listen to that made you think, man, this is it?
I was listening to some things I still listen to, and some things I don't listen to. I was definitely listening to, John Coltrane and Miles, and just thinking it was amazing, and not having a clue what was going on musically, but thinking it was great. And then I was also, as a trumpet player, I loved Maynard Ferguson. He was an idol for sure. I don't listen to him as much anymore, but as a young trumpet player, I was fascinated with his energy and his, technical prowess.
What about your first live show? What was the first live jazz show that really blew you away?
I guess the one that comes to mind was seeing Wynton. I'm not sure where it was that I saw. My parents took me to see Wynton live for my birthday, and, he's just, incomparable on the trumpet. just incredible, and an inspiration from, his work ethic to his emotional, the way he evokes emotion on his instrument, he's incredible.
How did things start out for you? How did your kind of jump into the professional world happen? Was it slow? Was it fast? How did that kind of happen?
Yeah, I would say it was slow. I went to school for music and got a master's in jazz studies, and then I didn't, I worked in real estate for a little bit, honest, at first, because I just needed to make sure I paid my bills and took care of all that, and tried to go out to sessions and started teaching a place called the Philadelphia Clef of Jazz and Performing Arts, which has been a really formative place for me and my continuing education after school. I was like teaching and helping out some administratively there, but it's just such a great community that really values the music in a great way, and I've been able to learn from the teachers there and the students there and, the other administrators there. It's just a great place to delve into the history and to get to know yourself better musically. It's been great at the Clef Club.
What do you like the best of being a professional musician? Every day you wake up, you get the chance to create, sonic sounds that people enjoy, audio sounds. What is the best part of all this process for you?
I guess I came to a place where just being creative was something that I had to do, and it was something that made me happy and helped create meaning in my life for me. And if I wasn't doing it, I just, times when I'm playing less are just I'm a little more down, and times when I'm playing more, I'm happier. So it's just about trying to get through life and offer a positive impact while I'm doing it. I can,
How is Philadelphia these days with opening up, and how's your itinerary, as things get better and more gigs pop up? How's it all going?
Yeah, things are starting to open up here in Philadelphia. We're having shows that require a vaccine card at the door. Things are, it's tricky to make sure that we keep ourselves and our community safe and also continue to play. Like a lot of people, I do some teaching also, so that helps to keep things moving. And I guess I'm just looking forward to being able to play in front of people more.
Speaking of teaching, any time in your career that you played around veterans and people that have been in the business for a long time, what did you learn for them, whether it was by osmosis or direct, teachings or quotes or anything that has helped you in turn teach the youth that you're around?
The teachers at the Clef Club are often teaching by example, and by just being a great player and bringing their best to any playing situation, whether it's practice or performance. And I guess I try and emulate that as much as I can. I guess I'm thinking of Bobby Zankel specifically right now. Bobby Zankel brings his music, and he doesn't, when the kids work with Bobby, he really just treats them like they're in his band, and he brings in his charts and he says, hey, we're going to play my charts. And it's a challenge for the kids, and he expects them to step up to the challenge. And I guess I try and, hope I can emulate Bobby in that way.
So if you could get into a jazz DeLorean, it pulls up in front of your house when we get off the phone, and you could go back in time anywhere, anytime, and see anybody in the history of jazz, who are you going to see? Where are you going?
Oh, that's a hard question, man. I guess I've been thinking about three people a lot recently. So I guess I'm not going to say one, but I've been listening to a lot of Alice Coltrane lately, Don Cherry. And Don Cherry, I've discovered his music after he was with Ornette, when I guess he was sort of labeled as world music, and I don't know if that's the right word to use for his music, but he was definitely dealing in he has an album called The Organic Music Society that's really interesting. And then Pharoah Sanders, and I've been thinking a lot about his piece Love Is Everywhere and The Creator Has a Master Plan, and just these great long pieces that he would play are really are really great. So I guess I've been thinking a lot about that sort of music. I guess I feel like those three were sort of in a similar vein for a little bit.
Why do you love jazz?
It's about the diversity of music and the freedom to. It has like some dichotomies where there's often a strong structure and form, but there's a lot of freedom in that form. So being able to work with those two ideas together really creates the ability for like so many different kinds of people to find themselves in the music, which I think is beautiful.
So everyone has a perception or an idea of you, your family, your friends, your fans, your students, but ultimately you have a perception of who you are, who you think you are.
I guess, I'm just trying to be, here in Philly, I'm just trying to be a good community member. I think especially in these times, we have to be there for each other, whether it's the music or not. So I guess that's what I try and focus on for myself.
Beautiful, Paul. Thank you for taking a minute out for Neon Jazz. Good luck with the album and the return to the stage. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in Philadelphia, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to Paul for his time, music, and story. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino in the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.